In studio right now, where am I getting it? You got it radio up in there. Got it. Your monitor's up. Yep.
Actually, my headphones are too loud this morning. Let me turn it down.
Okay, so in studio is Lieutenant Bryan Coromato with the Utica Police Department. And I want to get to the panhandling, but before, Brian, we get to that, can we talk about the guys at the park? Am I correct in saying I recognize one as if this might have been a repeat offense?
From what I was told, one of them is a repeat offender.
Yeah. So is it, how do you do this? So do you literally send a young officer up there undercover to have to lure the activity?
Yes.
Okay.
We send a young officer in, and he goes in the woods, into the park or in the woods to see what's going on, and
then somebody
plays an act. And
what do you draw straws for that duty, or
no? It's usually low man on the totem pole.
So I do have to. I really do have to ask: Are they causing any harm? I mean, I feel bad for them. Again, they're innocent until proven guilty. We need to understand that, but
sure.
I do. This seems to be every year we do some sort of a police raid or sting up there into the park or up at the Eagle, and this is what we come up with.
Okay. I've been on the job for 16 years, and this has been an ongoing problem for my time on the job, and I'm assuming before it too.
Yeah, well, I think it's known as the place where it happens, of all places. I mean,
the unfortunate circumstances here is that these lewd acts are being committed in the open, in the park, and obviously our parks are not for that reason.
Right.
So there's people that run through the parks that bring their families to the park who come and complain.
Don't they have a stinking garage? I mean,
I was going to
home?
ask that.
Well, most of these guys have families that they,
Okay. Well, not these guys necessarily in particular. We don't know.
But I'm saying in general.
But still, yeah. Or is it the thrill of doing it out in the open? I've heard about that before. I don't feel that. I'm not good under pressure. I can't even use the urinal in front of other guys. So for me to go out and do anything in a park would just not ever happen. But for some reason, there's something in some humans that it's like, hey, let's the thrill of doing something like this out in front of everybody. I don't get it.
I don't either.
Yeah. All right.
Well, and can I just say this? Then I would say anybody who feels sorry for and they're doing it for that purpose. And as you said, there's families there.
Yeah.
There's people running. So
I know.
I guess sometimes
we
hear these stories and I go, you feel bad that this kind of unfolds this way. But their intent is to be seen.
I know, but I feel bad because I think that it's something that they just can't. The desire is so great that they can't.
And I feel bad actually for the families if they have families.
Right.
Because they get embarrassed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
and by the way, I'm not for printing the names of. I don't even like having the prostitutes arrested when that happens. And every year there's always a big one, like 10 guys. Their lives are stinking ruined. And even the women, I hate to see the.
Again, I think we got a double-edged sword too, though, because we need to get it out that we are, enforcing these laws, and hopefully it discourages others from committing these acts in the parks or in our streets.
To be clear, this stemmed from a series of complaints, so it's not like twice a year. You guys say, okay, who can we send into the park?
Right.
These stings, come from complaints.
First and foremost, each park is, a car is assigned, to that zone.
Yeah.
There's a park that they have to monitor. So there are things that happen throughout the year also. But then when we start getting these complaints, obviously we have to take a closer look. There's only so much one car can do or two cars can do at one time.
Right.
So then we have to focus our attention to a detail that addresses this issue.
All right. I have a few comments here. Dan says the lieutenant is dressed up like he could sell a house, possibly. Are you working for River Hills Properties?
I am not.
Okay, no. And finally, Michael, as the Beatles go, why don't we do it in the road? If you remember that old song by the Beatles. Maybe that had something to do with parks and stuff. Okay, panhandling. So I got to tell you, corner of Oriskany and Genesee yesterday, or the little park, which is going to be going away, I guess, with this new construction that's going on. But I'm the first one in line, and I'm waiting patiently for the light, and there's the guy holding a sign that says, "Old vet, homeless, need your help." And that's a tough one. And he was making eye contact with me, looking at me. Do you have any evidence that could tell? Because I'm of the firm belief, I wouldn't give to him, because I'm of the firm belief that this is a scam, and he is not really an old vet, and he's not even homeless. Do you have any evidence at all on this stuff?
There are people that are out there now that we have talked to that we believe are not homeless.
Yeah.
A lot of them are not from this area.
Mm-hmm.
We do believe that some of this is a scam. But there's obviously some people out there who are in need. And this is something we've seen over the years also, that there are people that are in need that do this, and that obviously is unfortunate.
Today I'm going to go to McDonald's. I'm just going to buy a bag of burgers and just hand them a bag of burgers and see what they do with that.
Well,
they probably would take it anyway.
Quick story is that the deputy chief Noonan stopped and talked to one of these guys, and he told me that he advised them of the services that were available in the city, and asked him if he was really hungry, and he said yes, and he said, "Do you know about the Hope House?" And he, in words I can't say, wouldn't eat that food. So, that kind of just gives you a little bit of perspective on what.
Yeah, because I got to tell you something, that they do a really good job over there at the Hope House.
And, our department volunteers there a lot, and and you see it firsthand of the job that they do, and we're there all the time, whether we're just stopping by talking to people or we're actually there volunteering. And, and you can't say enough good things about them.
But they want is cash. Is it drug related? And that is there a drug addiction there, or I mean, I've heard stories. We have there was a story in the New York Times some years ago in New York City about these kids that went out and spent the summer in Times Square, and they made $150,000 each. $150,000 they made
in the summer.
During the summer months, panhandling in Times Square.
What was your summer job?
Yeah,
there's definitely money to be made with it.
Yeah,
and I think we see it. We don't see it as much as other cities do, and then obviously it's popped up, and it
makes us look like we're an impoverished city, which I guess there is the poverty level is high, but not to the point where we've ever had this.
Yeah, and we've received several phone calls from people that have been made nervous. Like these people have made them nervous approach their car. There's been words exchanged when no was said and things like that. So once we started getting these phone calls, obviously we have to address it, and let obviously the public wants to know why we're not doing anything, and we have to let them know that
it's legal, right?
It's not illegal. Obviously there's things that they can do that, whether they're obstructing traffic or things like that. So
just a thought, not necessarily a question. I know it does look like the area might have some financial issues when you see people on the corners like that. But something that I find interesting is I've lived here my whole life. I don't remember seeing them out in the numbers that I'm seeing now. And roughly, I couldn't tell you an exact date.
I've never seen them prior to the last couple of years. I'd never, you have there's Rainbow, and there's our people, Cowboy, and the people we all know through the years, but I've never seen. These are guys, I mean, we know our people.
Go back a couple years.
I don't know who these people are.
Go back a couple of years, and all the talk was, what, Nano? I almost think that this is a sign of actually the area on a financial upswing.
Well,
rich people are moving to Utica.
Can I say this, though? This never used to happen in Saratoga. But it is completely now a thing in Saratoga.
It's interesting.
And, of course, the Nano explosion up there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe, is this a sign of progress?
It's one of those odd things, and I think it does generally coincide with all these good financial announcements we got for the area.
So, I will tell you that the vet one really got people going, because behind me, they were handing out money, and they were calling him over, and he'd go. And then somebody, there were probably 6 or 7 cars in line, and somebody else honked. He ran back, and then another. They were putting out, probably $20 bills. There's money being made here.
Yeah, sure is, and that's why people are doing it.
Yeah. So don't look, because if you look, you're going to feel guilty.
Yes.
And but the advice of the city is don't give here.
Our advice from the police department, we sat down and talked about this, that, we want people to obviously give. I think this area is very compassionate, and we know that it gives.
Yeah.
And, to give to the the organizations that will help these people.
Yeah. If you're feeling guilty, take that money and give it to the Hope House or give it to another organization.
You don't know where that $20 is actually really going.
Right. Yeah.
At least if you write the check or give the money personally, you know where it's going to go.
My guess is it's tax free for these guys.
Yeah,
probably.
I don't think they were claiming the 20s they got last night. No.
All right, Lieutenant. So I think we've covered everything we needed to cover. I appreciate it.
Can I one
no
more?
Problem. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I'm sorry. A loitering charge wouldn't fit here for guys standing there all day?
Nope. That's them for peddling or for begging for money was deemed unconstitutional.
Okay.
So they can do it.
Okay.
I got to tell you, I am more bothered by the little 6-year-old that's trying to get me to give him money for his Little League at Walmart. Because you cannot walk by that kid. You got to give him something.
And you can't call him a scammer, Bill.
And he's not a scammer.
Well,
I'm like,
you don't play Little League.
You weren't even a Little League player.
Well, one thing on that is obviously like Walmart's a private property.
Right.
So if you take somebody like Rainbow who's at Price Chopper a lot, they allow him to be there.
They allow him.
And he doesn't bother.
But we love Rainbow.
Yeah.
And even Cowboy, as offensive as he can be, he's a Utica. You might not know some of these, but if you've spent time in Utica, you know these staples.
Yeah. Cowboy is not homeless.
And he's not. No, I know he's not. He looks it on that bike, though.
He does. But
I've never seen anyone be able to carry 2 full bags of empty cans and ride a bike down the street and be like 85 years old. It's the craziest thing I've ever. What a feat, right?
Yes.
What a feat. All right, Lieutenant, thanks so much.